5.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. We are live on the Talkin Sports with Jake YouTube. We haven't done this in the podcast feed ever. We figured out how to do it. Thank you, Justin.
Who's we?
That's a fair point. Justin figured out how to do it. He is in the bag. That's how you just heard. To my left is Mr. Ashton. To my right is Mr. Nick. They are back for the first ever YouTube live stream, Talkin Sports with Jake. Let's get this show on the road. So, gentlemen.
What's the road?
What's the road? Okay, buddy. So, Thursday night football last night, actually. Cowboys beat the Giants 20-15. It was a
mid-bowl.
Interesting game. Was
the best worst game I ever watched.
Justin
guys.
said that last night.
The best worst game ever.
He said it to me last night, and it was kind of true. So, let me get you guys' takeaways from Thursday night football out last night.
Well, it kind of is surprising and unsurprising at the same time, where you see a Cowboys team that kind of underperforms relative to expectations, but that's the Cowboys. I feel like that's been their franchise, like, Achilles heel the last, 4 or 5 years, where they have so much talent, but they're not really playing at the level they should be. I think I wasn't able to catch the end of the game. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was Micah Parsons? What's the status on him so far?
He has a high ankle sprain. It looks like it's going to be 2 to 4 weeks.
Well, both are getting a re-examined, and they said, and Mike McCarthy said both injuries are worse than expected.
DeMarcus Lawrence is going to miss a few weeks too with a foot injury.
So, I mean, from the Cowboys' perspective, I don't feel like you get anything out of this game that changes your perspective of them, right? Because they did what they needed to do. But ultimately, for me, I still worry about that team. I think they haven't fixed their biggest issue the last couple of years, which is the run defense. I think if you're playing the Cowboys, teams kind of know what they need to do against them now, where the Cowboys are built, the way they play offense, the way they rush the passer defensively, to play ahead and to be front runners. I don't mean that in a negative sense, that just they want to get out to leads early and then they want to hunt from there. In teams where, like, you are like a Baltimore, for example, can really take advantage of their lackluster run defense. You get up on them 7, 10, 14 points early out of the gate. They're really not. You're going to see a Dak that's going to have to speed up his processing, and an offense that's going to have to speed up its ability to put up points. And a team playing from behind like the Cowboys, they really struggle when they're faced with that. Yeah,
I mean, look, Dallas, obviously, they do this thing every year where they, obviously sell themselves better than they are, and then, the playoffs start, and it's like, oh, well, here we go again. Ashton, let me get your opinion on the Giants side of things, because they just could not find the end zone last night. That's all they need to do to win. They just couldn't get in.
Well, also in, the last, 22 drives in MetLife, they have not scored a touchdown at home.
Wow.
I forgot. There's some kind of stat. It was either 22
bad.
drives or the last 22 games.
Yeah, it's something like that.
It's something outrageous.
I don't think Jones has had a touchdown drive at home since the end of 2022.
Yeah, when they sealed the win to make the playoffs.
Exactly.
But
that's bad.
The issue with the Giants is not because they have a stellar front seven. That front seven's really good. The only issue is that they have zero offense to go with any inch of defense they have. The defense can get one stop, and they made a couple of stops last night where they got the ball back and proceeds. The offense goes 3 and out, gets a first down, goes 3 and out again, or drives all the way downfield and kicks a field goal. Poor Greg Joseph, his leg must have been tired this morning.
5 field goals, yeah.
Wait, yeah, literally, 5 field goals, scored 15 points. It's 20-15 has to be some weird score that we never see that score.
I don't think it's a scoregami.
It wasn't a scoregami, but I don't think it's
close
happened
to
that
a
often.
scoregami. It's close.
I mean,
it's probably close.
It's up there, but it just doesn't get to reach that level.
I mean,
it's just there.
You mentioned they couldn't score points. I'm looking at their previous games. I mean, we're talking 6 points, 18 points, 21 points in a win, and 15. That's a team that, to me, I mean, if you can't put up more than 21 points in 4 weeks of the season, you're not going to be successful. There's a very narrow path for you to win.
But there's also teams that, the Dolphins, that have only scored 30-something points all season. So,
different.
That was with Tua there, too.
But yeah, that was a Also, there was a lot of penalties in that game to the point where at the end of the first half, Al Michaels was like, "You got to be kidding me!" Even Al Michaels was getting.
Poor Al Michaels, he can never.
Also, Giants fans, get ready to have like the number 2 overall pick, and you better be excited about like Carson Beck or something.
Yeah,
I don't know who to be excited about.
They're going to be very bad. They're obviously 1-3. Dallas is at 2-2. I don't think our team is that good. I don't really think Dallas is that good, to be honest. I wasn't super high on going into the year. I thought maybe they could sneak into the playoffs. And then lose in the first round like they have pretty much every year since 1996. But, both teams are not very good. Daniel Jones. There's not a slant or a dump off or a little out route. The guy just can't complete a pass. Every deep ball is either he way overthrows the guy or he underthrows the guy. Even the completions deep down the field are like, Malik Neighbors or his receiver, making a really good play, and then Justin. Like, the guy's deep ball is just horrible.
I mean, I'll stand by the fact that 2022 organizationally was like the worst thing that could have happened to the Giants.
Yeah.
Because they make the playoffs, they have this great first season, but then that convinces the organization, the front office, to be fooled into thinking Daniel Jones can be like this, at the very least, stopgap option for 2 to 3 years. I feel like they set their franchise back a couple years doing that. I mean, there's nothing really to talk about with Daniel Jones anymore, considering this has been his issue. He can't throw the deep ball as accurately as you'd like a starting NFL quarterback to do. And he's not, it's another game where he turns the ball over. His turnover issues have persisted in the last 5. He's not a young player anymore. He's in his 5th year in the league.
Year 6?
Let's say
6th year, yeah.
I just pulled up his scattering report. And one of his weaknesses says attempts to throw into impossible windows, needs to work ahead of schedule more often on the next level, and it also goes, waits the next step before cutting it loose too often, average release speed slowed by a small windup. Which basically just says he's got a weak arm and he likes to force things.
6th pick in the draft.
6th pick in the draft. Wow. Yeah.
He also ran a 4.81 40-yard dash.
Was this a Gettleman masterclass?
This was Gettleman.
It's funny because some of the players after he left have been actually producing quite well, and you're like, oh, maybe he wasn't that bad.
His drafts overall, looking back, weren't horrendous, but it's just his misses were so bad. Like Daniel Jones at 6, that set the franchise back a while. And then Joe Shin didn't help matters by giving him $160 million prior to last year, so that does no favors.
At the end of his career, or at least his tenure with the Giants, Gettleman I thought was at his worst, because you went Daniel Jones and then you went Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
And on paper, that Kenny Galladay pickup was supposed to work. It just didn't.
Yeah, that's a weird one, because he was very good with the Lions. I did think it was a slight overpay at the time, giving him $72 million. I didn't think he was a $72 million player at any point.
But for him to have like 400 drops,
I know.
People calling him 007 is crazy.
That's right. 0 catches. 0 catches.
0 touchdowns, 7 drops.
Yeah. To go from a borderline number 1 receiver, a very good number 2 receiver, to just unrosterable was just insane. I don't know if it was an injury. I know his last year in Detroit, he had a lot of injuries. Maybe that did him in, but yes, he went to a worse quarterback, going from Matthew Stafford in Detroit to Daniel Jones, but still, the Bulls hit the guy right in the hands, and he's dropping it every single time. That's all around the quarterback.
He's the most likely quarterback to get overdraft in his draft class, and someone on Reddit even compared him to the 2022 class. He was the 6th or 7th ranked quarterback in that draft, and that draft's horrible.
That 2019 draft class for quarterbacks was what? So it
was Kyler.
It was Kyler Jones, Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace, and then Gardner Minshew at the end.
Not the strongest class.
No,
it was a very weak class.
No.
I don't think anything's worse than Wasn't it actually 2022?
Was
bad.
You're thinking 2021.
No. Well, I know 2021. I'm talking about
historically bad.
I'm talking about as
2022 was
as the draft was.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, Kenny said get Malik Willis, Desmond Ritter.
Yeah, at least Malik Willis is looking good. Unlike, but also none of them were super prospective.
I'm talking about as the draft was
going into the draft. Pretty much everybody knew that 2022 quarterback class was very weak. Except for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they thought Kenny Pickett was their going to be their savior.
2021 is the most confusing draft for me because coming into it, you have a Heisman finalist in Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, one of the best prospects since Andrew Luck, Justin Fields, whom we're going to get to him in a bit. Kind of a strange prospect. Coming out because he's from Ohio State, and we know kind of how Ohio State quarterbacks can flourish in that system.
Yeah.
But there's obviously like very tempting physical tools he had, and it's so strange.
What they tempting
really
about
don't-
Justin Fields was his speed.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson was
I'm
supposed to be a
Ohio-
dog.
I'm also
Yeah.
I'm a Ohio State Buckeyes fan. I know he actually had no arm. You
No?
can see in the
Yeah.
NFL, he has zero arm. He has no accuracy. He couldn't throw a ball in college. The
I mean,
only
he's
thing
also
benefit
3-0,
they
so you know that's kind of.
Well,
That was mostly
Malik
defense.
Willis is undefeated too, so I mean.
So is Malik Willis.
Sam
So
Darnold.
Sammy
Yeah,
D's
so
not
respect Sam
undefeated.
Darnold. We might have to have that conversation.
Sammy D, yeah. But
I don't
yeah,
want to talk about that.
but yeah, that class was really bad. I mean, you get 21, 22 back-to-back classes were just very, very bad. But going back to the Giants, they haven't drafted well in so long. Honestly, if you look at Shane's first rounders, he missed on most of them. If you really think about it,
Evan Neal.
Evan Neal.
Evan Neal, I thought was gonna be good. Like I thought that was the right.
Well,
pick
here's
at
the thing.
the
I think
time.
he still can be good. I think it's just he has bad coaching for the offensive line.
Honestly, I think he would benefit of moving to guard. Honestly, I would try him at guard.
Well,
I
like,
think
he's
it's
also too
benefit just
busy
leaving
calling
the
people
team and
burger
going
flippers.
Yeah, the burger flip
That didn't help
comment
his
really
case,
didn't
no.
help the situation.
Like he hit on Dexter Lawrence. Actually, no, that wasn't even him. So never mind. But Thibodeau's been good, not great. I would say he's still young. We'll see where that goes. Banks to me is just okay. I don't see a whole lot in him. So he really hasn't hit on.
I mean, the great news
All of
is
his
with
ones.
the contract structure for Daniel Jones is there's an out that they're going to take after this year. So this is your last year with him. So at least
I mean,
there's that.
he hit on Neighbors this year. Clearly, I mean, we all knew
Yeah, that's
Blake
the way
Neighbors was a
I
special
felt.
player.
Well, if he picked like if he was an idiot and picked like and went quarterback there, and went like J.J. McCarthy or something, he would have been considered an idiot because J.J. McCarthy would have torn his meniscus even more. He already has.
Yeah, but so that's Thursday Night Football. Dallas gets past the New York Giants, 20-15.
Cowboys suck, by the way. I just wanna
Cowboys
let you guys
Cowboys
know.
are not that good.
I just want to give my opinion on this, Jake. Are we gonna do this again to where you just completely forget that I'm here?
I'm so sorry, Justin.
No, you're not.
Not
You're really not. Look at Ashton over here. Ashton just chilling here, looking at his laptop, and is just
I'm basically
pretending
waiting
that
for
I don't
Justin's
exist.
take. I'm
No,
like
he
patiently
just-
waiting for him to say something, and then all I hear is Jacob. And I'm
Now you
like,
see, he just
What's
doesn't
going on?
care that I exist. Like I go downstairs at 3 in the morning, and you're like, and you're like, oh yeah, you're the ghost I'm talking about. Whoever's shaking up the house.
I didn't even say any of that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you
Putting
did.
words
Trust
in
me.
your mouth.
Ashton. Oh my
Ashton.
God.
Nick, why'd you break into my house last night?
Literally.
I broke into your house.
Yeah, you did.
Nick
I
over to
heard
our
it.
house. Damn.
Damn, Nick.
Damn, now we're on live.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
Justin.
Unbelievable.
But anyways, yeah. I've always said this on this show a lot, but there's a difference. But there are losses that could be considered good. Like if you're on a winning streak and you lose, having that loss I think helps you develop and has you build up. And then there's such things called bad wins, to where you won a game, but you did it. But you looked so unbelievably garbage that you did not deserve to win that game. That is what the Cowboys had. The Cowboys had, in my eyes, a very bad win. They could not.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
Like it was not. Like they arguably did not deserve to win that game.
No, not at all. That
I don't
was
think
not.
either team deserved to win. How they both played.
Yeah, probably should have been a draw. Probably could have.
I think they should have just both forfeited. Both took the L's.
both took the L.
Just give it up.
To be honest, I think they wasted everyone's night last night. I think everyone wishes they can get those 3.5 hours back.
By the way,
That was an incredible game. What the hell are you talking about, Ashton?
by the way, I just want to say hi to my mom. Hi, Mom. She commented.
Hi,
so-
Jake's mom.
Hi,
So-
Mom.
Hi,
Hi.
but so hi to her. And before we shift to some of the teams, Justin, do you have anything else to add for Thursday Night Football?
Cowboys.
The Jets
suck,
won last
that's
week.
it. Yeah, the Jets won last week on Thursday Night Football, and the Giants did not win this year on first Thursday Night Football. So
See,
technically,
there it is.
so
That's
technically,
the
the
New Jersey
Jets
team.
are 1-0. The Jets are 1-0. We rule MetLife now.
Why can't they be like the New York Jersey Jets? and the New York Jersey Giants
Don't
because
get
they're
me
technically in
started.
Jersey.
Don't get me started.
Technically, there's only one team located in New York, and it's the Bills. So.
Yeah,
I mean, we might
I've
be
heard
like
before.
closer to Canada, but.
I mean, you guys are
Pretty
definitely
much
like you
Canada.
guys. I mean, you guys are way New York.
No, we're.
Let me tell you something. Long Island, the city, and upstate are three very different places. Let me tell you that.
It's three
The
separate
party
states.
area.
It basically
It's
is.
like when you tell someone who's not from here, oh, I'm from New York, and they're like, oh, you're from New York City. No, there's a ton of places that.
Tell someone you're from Rhode Island, they think you're in Long Island. I'm like, no, that's part of New York. We're our actual own state.
By the way, KW Raisman just said, "Yo, we're talking about to Jake live stream. Let's go." KW Raisman, do you mind just identifying yourself? I probably know who
Go
you are.
where? Where are we going?
I don't know. Can you please identify yourself? I probably know you from like a Discord server, but I don't recognize your YouTube name. So please identify yourself. Ashton just typed "Yo."
Hey, I enjoy the party.
Okay. Okay. But we're gonna shift gears now to so surprising teams in good ways and bad ways. We'll start with let's get some optimism in here. We'll start with the 3-0 teams to this point.
How
And
about those 1 and 2 teams like the
I'm
Patriots?
friends with Sailor.
who's the guest on one of your? Oh, that's right. You commented the one time. Yes. By the way, Seattle was supposed to come on a few days ago, but the hurricane hit him. He lives down in Tampa, so he wasn't able to come on.
Millions of people lost power in that.
Yeah,
Lots
but by
of
the way, I hope everyone is safe from the hurricane. I know
Get safe.
it was down south. Yeah, it started in Georgia, and then it was in Florida. So I hope everyone is safe.
Went up
For
through the
sure.
Caribbean,
From that.
up through
For
the,
sure.
right up into Florida.
Yeah.
Hopefully, no more damages now.
Yeah, thankfully, my dad just got a little bit of rain and wind. He lived down in Tampa, so thankfully he's okay. KW said, yeah, I live in South Florida, and don't worry, Sarah's okay. He just doesn't have any power. And
Your dad.
oh my God, hi
Dad's
Dad.
getting
Yeah.
involved.
So
Hi, Jake's dad.
so let's go to the 3-0 teams. We got 5 teams that 3-0. Buffalo Bills. You see Nick's shirt. He's a Buffalo Bills fan.
Get that shirt off right now.
Kansas City Chiefs. And then a couple surprising ones. The Pittsburgh Steelers. The Patriots are not.
You're not even on. Camera 2's not even live. Camera 2's not even live. I got camera 3 on right now.
Well, Pittsburgh
Yeah, I can do
Steelers,
it.
Seattle Seahawks, and the Minnesota Vikings. So,
Go Minnesota Vikings.
which one has surprised you guys the most of the 3-0 teams?
I think the slam dunk pick here for me is the Vikings, mostly because of who they're doing it with. I'm going to touch on Sam Darnold in a second. I just want to congratulate and compliment just how well of a coaching job Brian Flores and Kevin O'Connell are doing for Minnesota. I strongly believe you can make the argument they're a top 3 if you look at not just from a head coaching perspective, but defensively and offensively coaching. I don't know why Brian Flores doesn't have a job as a head coach right now, because you can clearly make the argument that he is at least a top 3 DC in the league. What he's doing to a defense that isn't incredibly talented, there's some pieces, but what they're doing and how they've slowed down, a really incredible and fun Texans offense. And what Kevin O'Connell is doing as an offensive mind really showcases to me why it's so important that these franchises have their head coach be an offensive mind. And you're seeing a lot of, like 80% of the league go to this system where, let's take a Bills, for example, right? You have a Sean McDermott, who we'll get to in a bit, that's an incredible defensive mind. He's great with his work in the secondary and getting those defensive backs up to speed. And, there's a lot of talent we've lost that he is now able to kind of mask, and we're so far playing like a top 10 unit. But if Joe Brady leaves again, we might have another Ken Dorsey problem, where you have an OC that doesn't really know what he's doing or is not up to par. And no insane team is going to take their head coach, fire him, and promote the OC, right? So, what the Vikings are doing and the work they've done with Sam Darnold is incredible. Sam Darnold looks, at this moment, it's fair to say he's playing at least like a top 15 quarterback in the league, probably even better. So, for a team that I thought their season was over, what they're doing is fantastic.
Ashton, is there a 3-0 team that's surprised you this far?
How does no one say it? The Pittsburgh Steelers
I
with
don't.
that
I
roster,
don't get
like,
it.
You have Justin
Crazy.
Fields, who's a below-average quarterback in this league. You have Russell Wilson, who should probably retire, but is still playing. And you have zero weapons other than Pat Fryermuth. And George Pickens is not wide receiver 1, so sorry, Pittsburgh Steelers fans. You can get all pressed on me. I don't care. He's not wide receiver 1. He'll be a good wide receiver 2. But you guys are not winning a Super Bowl anytime soon. So don't think this 3-0 thing is going to last. You're probably going to lose like the next 4 straight. But the only reason you're 3-0 is because Mike Tomlin can't accept to have a losing season for one dang season.
I mean, that seems a little harsh considering they've, been playing quite well and, been beating very good teams. They beat the Falcons, who are a solid team.
Not
They
that
beat
impressive.
the Chargers.
Week 1.
Not impressive about the Chargers. It's the Chargers. They always choke.
You just sound like a hater to me, Ashton.
I'm not a hater. I'm just telling the truth.
Steelers football is Steelers football through and through. It takes a person that wants to watch. It's a very selective group of fans that like watching Steelers.
They have
football.
their
Name a
best
Steelers
player is
fan.
obviously T.J. Watt, and then
Yes.
I probably maybe Pat Fryermuth is second. I couldn't.
You think it's Fryermuth?
It probably
See,
is.
I think it's Pickens.
It's probably
No,
Pickens.
it's probably Pickens.
Pat Fryermuth is better than Pickens.
I think it's Pickens.
I
I don't
think
know.
it's
Fryermuth is an arguable top
Different.
5 tight end. I'm not even talking about George Pickens in the top 10 receiving list.
Top 5 tight ends a little bit.
KW Raisman says, whoa, Justin Fields is an average quarterback, plus Steelers have been carried by our defense. That's right. That defense is phenomenal.
That
Yeah, they're
defense is
having a
not
good
going to last that long. We've seen teams that
You
have...
know, you just really seem like you
I'm
just
telling
hate
you,
the Steelers for
I'm
no
just going to say this.
no
I
reason.
watched my Patriots in the 2021. We were carried by that defense. Look how far they got us. We got smacked in the
Can
playoffs.
can you just not praise the Steelers for being 3-0?
I'm not praising the Steelers because it's not impressive.
But you said so.
An
It is
impressive
impressive.
3-0 is what the Vikings are doing with what?
It's really not.
Obviously
They have
Sam
the best
Darnold.
receiver in the NFL.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
What the fuck are you talking about?
They have arguably the best defense in the league. They have a top 5 offense with a below average quarterback in Sam Darnold who's playing at an MVP level.
He's
Justin
not playing
Fields-
at an MVP
yes,
level.
He is.
He's playing. He's playing
Look
at
at
top
Tua.
10 level.
Look at
not
Tua.
MVP,
When you have
but-
two, when you have
Sam
two
Darnold
elite
is
receivers-
better than Tua this season on the Vikings than Tua has been with the Dolphins.
Well, Tua's been.
Oh, take out the injuries. Take out the
Tua's
injuries.
brain also doesn't work.
Tua might
Tua
retire.
doesn't throw a ball more than 5 yards, and when he does, it wobbles, and it's
Well, he's not that
impressive.
good.
I'm
He's
just
not that
saying,
good.
Sam Darnold this
So do
season
you think-
with the Vikings is better than what we saw with Tua with Tyreek Hill
So
and
yeah,
Jalen.
all right. So
That's very
if
fair.
you think so let's say the Steelers finish 10-7, make the playoffs, lose in the wild card. It's kind of like a very similar season to what they've had recently. Would you consider that a success or no?
I feel like they're going in the wrong direction right now because I feel like they need a rebuild. They never rebuilt
That
since
won't
Big
happen
Ben.
under Mike Tomlin.
Mike
Never.
Tomlin needs to accept
Never.
it. Because the issue is that they haven't had a quarterback since Big Ben, and Big Ben hasn't been good since like 2020. So it's been 4 years? We're about to go on 5 years, and you just keep getting worse and worse. Luckily Justin Fields has been playing a little bit better than Kenny Pickett, but it's not that much impressive.
I mean, the problem is they've had to, look at Kenny Pickett, for example. They drafted him at the end of the first round. They're always drafting at the end of the first round, and they're outside of the group of teams that can reasonably trade up to get those quarterbacks that usually go in like the top 5, 7 picks because they're too competitive all the time. So it's kind of like a catch-22. Do you want to be competitive, or do you want to build it or have short-term pain for long-term gain?
Well, I'm going to say this as like a fan of a team that was trying to do what they were doing and it didn't work out, because if you go back from when Tom Brady left the New England Patriots, 2020 they weren't bad enough to have a good pick,
Like,
but they weren't good enough to be good. Then we
win a
go, we
playoff
draft
game.
Mac Jones. Mac Jones starts. We have a solid season at 10-7, and then we have a 8-9 season a year later, and then we go 3-14. That 3-14, I think, was more vital to the Patriots franchise than the 3 seasons prior to that, because you go out, now you get a top 3 pick, you draft a potential franchise quarterback, which they took Drake May. It was Drake May or Jane Daniels, because you're not picking J.J. McCarthy at 3. So you're going with whoever the Commanders didn't select out of the top 3 quarterbacks. It was basically you waited till the Commanders make their choice. They're taking Drake May or they're taking Jaden. They took Jaden, we took Drake. Now you have a guy who's possibly your franchise quarterback. Now you build from there. Okay, now this year you go 5-12. Now you draft another good player. When you go sit at 7-10, 8-9, because I have a feeling they're gonna go 7-10 the Steelers this year, and guess what? You're gonna sit in the middle of the first round. Who are you gonna draft?
Actually,
Yep.
Yeah, hello? we just lost Justin.
Justin called out Ashton, and then we heard nothing.
We're all just waiting for him to come back.
And then Katie Raven, I must say, past half of draft 01. Yes. Is Jacoby Brissett like Drake May's cousin or something? Is because he's doing him a huge favor. That guy is going to have at least like 4 broken bones by like week 9.
Well, here's the thing. We brought him in obviously to be a bridge. The Patriots just got some reinforcements back to align this week with City Sal. Next week's probably going to be Cole Strange. So that's going to do a lot more.
I mean, I don't think Cole Strange is out, but that was an extreme reach.
But it's better than what we're throwing out there now, obviously.
I think I'd be better than what they're throwing out
And then
there
I
now.
think next year I'm hoping to land another top 5 pick to draft Will Johnson or Jones Jr.
Yes.
from
They're gonna have to take a lineman.
I think those then you pretty much solidify your line because City Sal showed that he's a good guard in the league because he played really well last year as a rookie. He's just gonna get better this year. Layden Robinson, who's our rookie this year, he looks pretty good. Michael Onwenu, we know who it is. The only thing we need to really solidify is the next center after David Andrews in that left tackle spot.
Didn't they draft a kid a couple years ago?
Jake Andrews.
Not a fan.
I have not really seen him work, and so I'm not going to rule him out as he's not the possible
I mean,
candidate.
you know better than me. I just thought when they drafted him, the plan was him to be the heir apparent.
I think they're
Kinda
trying for that.
Kind of like the Eagles did with Cam Jurgens a couple
The
years
only
ago.
issue is, though, is that we drafted him like the 6th round. So it's like obviously we got David Andrews as an undrafted free agent, so it's a complete obviously they're in a similar boat. Unless David Andrews takes him under his wing, then I don't know. I still have a feeling they're going to draft another center next year. They might go first 2 picks being tackle center, knock it out of the board.
I mean, a lot of times the top center in every draft is in the second, goes like early second round.
Yeah.
Since
Centers aren't a first-round pick.
No,
you don't take
do
it.
that.
Not as premium.
Unless you go and grab a center.
You'd rather take a
in
sure
free
thing
agency.
than take a chance on a 6th round pick from 3 years prior.
Okay, Ashton.
Are you back?
He's
Yeah,
alive.
Ashton, I've been back. Ashton, okay, so I was just doing a little bit of research.
Okay.
Because, so we're on the topic of Justin Fields versus Sam Darnold. So Justin Fields has thrown like, less than 200 yards in a game up until week 3 to where he did and threw a couple of touchdowns. Sam Darnold in his past 3 weeks, he threw 208 against the Giants, 240 something against the 49ers.
We lost you again 'cause you sound like you're like way in the distance, like 100 miles away.
Can you hear me now?
Now we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Okay. So do you want me to repeat that?
Yes.
Yeah, so Justin Fields, I know he threw for
Oh,
You did it again. You might just need to like put that mic like
I will-
right
How
here.
about now?
that's perfect.
Just stay like that.
So Justin Fields threw for less than 200 yards in his first 2 games, except for the most recent one to where he threw for about over 200 and a couple of touchdowns. Sam Darnold threw for 208 and a pick against the Giants. He threw for 240 something against the this 49ers, and they threw for 181 against the Texans. So what exactly makes Justin Fields more so what I'm asking is how can you call Justin Fields average but not Sam Darnold when Justin Fields is putting up around similar numbers with a worse wide receiver and no running back?
I love how it has to be just because one receiver is on the team.
Yes, he has the best
It doesn't
receiver in the
matter.
NFL.
Tua
He has
has
the
second
best
best.
receiver in the NFL. What are you
Tua did nothing
talking
with the
about?
Second best receiver.
Well,
He
okay,
does
so
nothing with them.
I think
Who?
Tua. He is the second best
Tua
receiver that does. He does
isn't
nothing
that
with
good.
them.
I think
He
this
does-
is a perfect case of showing how when you talk about QBs getting drafted, right? Sam Darnold plays like garbage. We all know how he played in New York, Carolina.
But he
Look
played
at
well in
Baker.
Carolina. He started off 3-0 again.
No,
And then
saw it
obviously
ended.
Carolina is Carolina.
So you're telling me is that
He
having
does
is
this
having
every year,
Justin
Sam.
Jefferson? Ashton, let me ask you, do you think Sam Darnold is putting up these numbers with Justin Jefferson? Yes or no? Without him, yes or no?
I could actually possibly seeing it.
No, he's not.
No
He's
way.
not putting
Jordan
up those
Addison
numbers with
when
Justin
healthy
Jefferson.
and on
It's
the
not
field.
happening.
I think it's
You could do it with Jordan Addison.
No, you couldn't.
Yes, you can.
With
Maybe if you have
Jordan
With
Addison
what?
went off last year.
With what is 90 DUIs where he's getting suspended every other week?
I think it's so important.
Justin Fields is not doing this because
he
he's a
is.
good
He is
coach.
doing that with Justin Jefferson.
No, he's not.
He absolutely
I
cooked
watched
with
him.
Garrett.
He
He
didn't
cooked
do it-
with Garrett in Ohio
He
State.
did-
What are you talking about?
He didn't do it with
Do
DJ
you even
Moore.
watch college football?
Do you watch DJ Moore last year? Oh wait, he didn't do anything with DJ Moore. With What's he expecting to do, Justin Jefferson?
Justin Jefferson's way better than DJ Moore.
DJ Moore is better than George Pickens.
I think
So?
Yeah.
I think it's
No
more,
shit.
I think it's more important.
And neither is Caleb doing stuff with DJ Moore either. So what's your point?
Caleb's a flop.
I think it's so much. You guys are talking about like the weapons they have around.
How
you.
the coaching?
I think it's equal. Yeah.
Kevin O'Connell's like the best
equally
offensive mind in
important.
football.
That definitely helps.
Yeah, I know, but to say that Sam Darnold that Sam Darnold would put up the exact same numbers without Justin Jefferson is absolutely insane.
I wouldn't say the same, but I would say similar numbers because
I wouldn't even say similar numbers.
What is that jingling noise?
Who's jingling?
Who knows? Speaking of Sam Darnold, there might be some ghosts in here, but
He did.
But yeah. Look, Darnold's playing well. He does this a lot. He starts off really well, and then the wheels fall off. We will see how it continues from there. Obviously, this is probably the best team he's been a starter on by far.
Yeah, I don't think that Carolina Panthers.
it was not the Jets, and it certainly wasn't Carolina.
I don't see a loss on their schedule other than maybe the Jets and Lions game. I think they beat the Packers because that might be Love's first game back. They beat the Rams. They definitely beat the Jaguars and the Colts. The Titans. They definitely sweeping the Bears. They're beating the Cardinals.
They have a favorable schedule.
This teams could easily win this division.
Let's say easy, considering it's a really tough division.
Is it now?
Maybe.
The Lions haven't been playing like the Lions, and the Packers are.
Well, the Lions are playing like the Lions. They suck. That's the Lions haven't played the Lions of 20 years.
Sure, but
forever until.
But the Lions
year.
aren't like the Lions that they were last year. The Packers, even when Jordan Love was there, they didn't look that great against the Eagles. The Eagles are below average this year.
He sprained his knee like 3 weeks ago. That's a quick turnaround.
So it's like I don't think.
And the Bears are the Bears.
And the Bears have a horrible.
In the words of Dennis Green, the Bears are who we thought they were. And by the way, yes, I did not have them going 11-6 like you sickos out there. I had them going 6-11, getting in the air. Looks pretty good right now. Just saying. But yeah, but like KW Raisman said, Darnold didn't do anything in Carolina because Carolina sucks. They do. Carolina, they might be cursed, like actually, because every human being that comes through there just
wasn't DJ. Was it?
DJ Moore was.
Sam Darnold played.
Yeah.
DJ Moore was in Carolina.
Okay. Okay, so he still sucked with Carolina.
Well, DJ Moore actually did stuff. It's just the rest of the team is horrible.
Was horrid.
It was like Brian Burns and DJ Moore running the show with some like crappy O-line.
The guy went 9-13 with DJ Moore. What are you talking about?
I think this is a classic case of when we talk about prospects coming out too, it's more about where they get drafted and the situation they get put than their talent themselves. Because I don't know. I don't think Justin Fields is. I think he has the capacity to be like an average quarterback in the NFL, but. You know, if he doesn't get drafted,
he's gonna be a career backup. He's just on a team that has.
But if he didn't get drafted to Chicago, you know, who knows how his career turns out? It's just more so about your coaching.
I
than
don't
anything
think
else.
it would have been anything with coaching with him. He just has so many flaws as a QB himself. Like he is very flawed. He's not the
hard to game plan for. I don't think he's a great quarterback. He's hard to game plan for.
If you wanted to switch him to like what everyone was saying, like with Lamar, switching the running back or wide receiver, I think he benefits more playing as a running back. Bulk him up a little bit more. He has the speed. I don't think he'll lose if he bulks up a little bit, like 10 more pounds. He's not going to lose it.
That'll be a cool thing though.
But
that'll be exciting.
The only reason he looked good in Ohio State was because he had probably one of the greatest receiving cores. Just
that receiving.
So are you saying that having a great receiver does matter?
Well, I'm talking about in college.
Well,
Mac Jones looked great in college. He threw 47 touchdowns.
So you're saying a great receiver matters?
One of the worst quarterbacks in the league.
Ashton, so you're telling me a great receiver matters? Yes or no?
It doesn't. In the NFL, you just need great coaching. You can have okay receivers. Brady in 2006 threw to the worst receiving corps.
Well, he's the best quarterback of all time.
But it didn't matter. All it came down was good coaching and good QB play.
I mean, obviously. Okay. Right
Ashton,
now,
I think you're contradicting yourself. Yes, you are.
It's good QB
play. Justin, do the. Justin,
Mike comes flying down.
Okay, again, this is a very extreme case because I think we all can agree Josh Allen is better than the quarterbacks we've been talking about. But do the Buffalo Bills have an elite receiver right now?
No. Particularly, no.
I think it's more. I don't think you need an elite receiver because there's only so many of
You
them.
can have a solid
It's very
receiving
helpful.
core.
If you have like a 1 of 3, you have 3 solid receivers.
It depends
I
how
think
the
that's
rest of
fine.
your roster is, though. The rest of your roster sucks.
Yeah,
you-
and
you
also,
might
and
need
also,
a
and also,
top
not for
receiver.
nothing, Nick. Your coach sucks too.
Oh, McDermott.
Yeah, Sean McDermott sucks.
yeah.
Honestly, Joe Brady might be a better head coach than Sean McDermott.
It's going to
if
turn
they
out.
fire him after the year,
I
they should
think it's
probably
going to
promote
turn
Joe
out.
Brady.
I think it's going to turn out
'Cause
the
they're gonna
same
lose him
way
out
it
otherwise.
happened with the Bull, where Brady's going to get hired by someone as a head coach because coaches are selfish. They want, and understandably so, they want to continue to progress and.
What happens if they
Get
bring
that
back
coach
Ken
spot.
Dorsey as a head coach?
Oh God. Dorsey made
Ken
Josh Allen
Dorsey.
look bad, man. That's
He'll,
horrible.
he'll slam his binder and stuff again in the press box like he did a couple of years ago.
I mean, yeah, McDermott, I gotta give him credit. He's done great things to the defense that we thought was gonna be a lot worse. But I do think it's always gonna be a lot harder to win a Super Bowl with a defensive-minded head coach. So
By the way, Hassan Reddick, there's no way he's going. He wants to go back to the Eagles now? Oh my God.
who?
Hassan Reddick.
Hassan Reddick, who the Jets traded for from the Eagles, wants to go
No,
back.
just
Hasn't he
go.
holding
Go.
out? Is-
Bye.
He's holding out because he didn't get his
Bye.
contract. Because every
He's
lineman
losing
in the league-
money.
I
He's
know,
lost
you're-
like $8 million.
I mean, he can go there if they want to give us like AJ Brown.
What leverage?
A.J.
is he-
Brown for Hassan
what
Reddick, who says
leverage
no?
Is he gonna have in his next
The
contract?
Eagles.
None.
He's gonna lose so much money. Why? Did
He's already lost $8 million.
He should have just played out the
So,
season and then got.
Hassan, you want more money, and you're sitting out and you're losing money. What's his salary? Is he like $15 million? I think he signed for. I think his contract was 3 for 45 with the Eagles, so he's like around like that 14, 15, maybe 17 million. And so he's losing money. I get it. His thought process is, okay, if I get the contract I want, it'll be a wash because of how much he'll lose $8 million. Maybe he makes $8 to $10 million more, that kind of thing. But like the Jets had 8 sacks last week. It was against the Patriots off the line, which isn't great, but especially with the injuries they had. Also, you said they're just getting City Sal back. They've had like 9 different left tackles already, but still, like the front seven looks fine to me. Maybe not what it was last year and the year before when it was ferocious, but they haven't really missed him that much. Like until they really miss him, we're not going to pay him.
Oh, so go back to the
I mean,
receiver thing.
I wouldn't mind having him.
I wouldn't mind, but I'm not paying him like he's TJ Watt. Go back to the Eagles. In fact, I say trade him to the Carolina Panthers. Go play for the Panthers, or go play for that.
Because
Sucky ass
there's
team.
one thing. It's like I'm gonna ask you, Jake.
What's up?
Is Brandon Cooks an elite receiver?
No, not
He's
anymore.
he had elite years, but he was.
He had some very good years, yes, but not anymore though. He's not. I wouldn't say he's an elite receiver anymore.
Well, I don't think he
I
ever
don't
was.
think he
an
ever
elite
was
receiver.
one.
He was a very good receiver for a while,
He was just a guy who threw up elite numbers because of great coaching and QB play.
and also he was on a team where they were just so bad. He was getting this target share was huge as well. That also helped.
Because like we had Drew Brees at one point.
Yeah,
he had
and-
Tom Brady. He had
and
Jared
Houston's-
Goff for a little bit before it turned to
and-
Matthew. No, he didn't have Matthew Stafford, but he had Jared Goff, who's good enough to get him the ball,
Yeah.
and then he ended up in
Houston for a while.
no Houston, and then he ended up sadly in Dallas. But
Well, he's just old.
but
And he had some injuries too, which haven't helped. KW Raven said Greg might already have CD. Maybe.
did he have a concussion ever?
I don't know. But let's shift gears to the 0-3 teams now. So there's only 3 of them. Tennessee Titans, Cincinnati Bengals, and Jacksonville Jaguars. I think it's only right you start with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Can I just say nobody's surprised about the Titans being on 3?
No, not by any means. Not by
They
any
are
means.
not good at all.
No.
Will Levis is
My
the
glorious king.
Will Levis is the
Let's
most
shout
mean
out.
quarterback.
Shout out my
What?
glorious king, Will Levis.
Will Levis is about to be the most mean quarterback since who's the guy who had the song on
The
TikTok?
song?
Oh,
The
Trace
song?
McSorley.
Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones had a
McSorley.
song.
Trace McSorley.
Chandler Jones, oh
Trace
my God.
McSorley, throw it on
Oh
the
my
down.
God. Trace McSorley, Penn State legend.
Like, I don't think really the much conversation is going to be about the Titans because they're pretty much going to be probably one of the worst teams this year. And I'm surprised the Panthers are not 0-3 and they got to win because Andy Dalton's just that good. But the Bengals, that's a surprise. Jags, I'm kind of surprised about being there, both being 0-3.
Going into the year, I was surprised, but then once I saw him take the field, I was like, yeah, no, not that surprised.
Well, I think for the Jags reason, it's coaching.
Peterson's gonna. He might not be here by week 8. He is in the words of Bon Jovi. He is living on a prayer for his job.
But Cincinnati, it just does seem like Joe Burrow's still having that wrist injury. It hasn't fully healed
Something
yet.
looks off with him. He looks off.
But he's still putting up great numbers, surprisingly.
I mean, yeah, just like his coach sucks and his defense couldn't stop the stop sign.
I don't think Zach Taylor is that bad. Zach
I don't
Taylor
think
is
Zach
not
the coach.
He's not that bad. I think it's just the issue is that they are the most injury-riddled team most of the time. It's like them and the Ravens, and they're in the same division for some reason. the injury bust just hits those two teams in that division.
Them, the Ravens, the Chargers, and the 49ers just can't figure out how to stay healthy.
And it's just one of those things where you just kind of go, oh, okay. Like, Zach Taylor brought this team to a championship. He brought them to a Super Bowl, almost won a Super Bowl. They went like this, went to a Super Bowl.
I must have been in love with his coaching.
Well, it's funny
so far for
Doug
this
Peterson won
first
a Super
3
Bowl.
weeks.
He's about to get fired in 2 weeks.
Also, you kind of benefited from having Nick Foles having the game of his life.
Yeah,
that Super Bowl.
That did help.
But it's just like I don't think anyone's that impressed with like the Jaguars. Like
No.
Doug Peterson has shown to not be that good of a coach now. How you fall off a cliff like that.
He's always been a mediocre coach to me,
It's
even
like-
when he was in Philly.
Well, also he did have Frank Wright, who was a great offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that definitely helped.
Like-
He was always an okay
Because
coach.
Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate that season before he tore his ACL,
Yeah, I was able to say him again.
and then now he's the backup for the Chiefs, as well as Bailey Zappi.
Yeah, Barry Zappi's on the practice squad. So, the Bengals this week they have we're gonna get to game pick soon, but they got the Carolina Panthers against an old friend Andy Dalton. Here, Nick, let me ask you: if they lose to Carolina and they go up to 0-4, is the season over?
I think the season almost already is, only because you look at the history of 0-3 teams making the playoffs.
Yeah,
it's
never
really
happened.
bad.
It's been not
If
good.
you say out of any of these three that are going to possibly make the playoffs, it would be the Bengals.
Yeah.
Well, yes,
They,
I mean,
they
of
have by
course.
far the best squad of any of these three.
I mean,
for sure.
they have to go 9-5 just to get to a winning record. They can do it. It just 0-3 is a really big hole to give yourself. And this isn't surprising. Like the Bengals, the last 3 years, for one reason or another, have always started slow.
They do start slower.
But
pretty
like
much every year.
0-3 slow is a little bit concerning. I think. But the one positive thing is that it's not like they're getting blown out. They've been very competitive in these games. You know, they're 3 plays away from being 3-0. Now, I don't think there's some big holes on this team. I think defensively they look all out of sorts.
Something's wrong.
And the vibes are just. I hate to boil it down to just this, but the vibes are just off. Like you got Jamar Chase.
They don't look like the
Jamar
Bengals
Chase
right
on
now.
an interview saying, "Hey, do you want to retire a Bengal?" He's like, "Sure, we'll see." What do you mean we'll see?
Yeah. Yes, it's either yes or no trade me.
I don't know why the Bengals handled his contract situation the way they did, because T. Higgins for the longest time, for the last like 2-3 years, we've known they can't pay both of them and Joe Burrow.
Some news, some Chargers news. Speaking of cursed, Chargers news, baby. Give me a second.
We got some Chargers breaking news coming up from yours truly, Justin Alter.
Joe Alt is listed as questionable. Joey Bosa, Rashawn Slater, and Junior Colson are all out.
Jesus, that team.
It's so... Oh, you know what? I think they should change the colors of their uniforms, because you want to know why it looks very similar to the blue medical tent. So I really...
They must have their medical team is so bad, from puncturing their own players' lung, though it did lead to Justin Herbert entering the
That is not the worst outcome to that.
And becoming a franchise
Tyrod Taylor
quarterback.
curse.
The Tyrod Taylor curse, exactly. They're just always they find a way every year. I'm like, I mean, having Brandon Staley as their head coach, having a Division III coach as your head coach didn't do them any favors. But every year they find a way to get guys hurt. I don't understand how. I don't know if it's just the way the condition. I don't know what it is, but there's something just terribly wrong with that medical staff. But yeah, the Bengals look really off. The defensively they look very bad, and now they lose Trent Brown. So once again, their offensive line is not going to be the same.
Also, your dad did mention a 3-team trade proposal that has been floating around. I found the trade he is talking about. It's between the Jets, Chiefs, and Raiders. The Jets get Devontae Adams. The Chiefs receive a Hassan Reddick, a 2025 sixth rounder from the Raiders. And the Raiders receive defensive end George Kalafis, wide receiver Alan Lazard, a 2025 fifth round pick from the Chiefs, and a 2025 second round pick from the Jets.
I fear you cooked.
Wow.
I fear you.
Wow.
I didn't cook. Jake's dad.
My dad just dropped that in there.
I just found the details just because I saw in the chat the whole time. He was just trying to figure out the details, so I got the full details.
Wow.
So
shout out to my dad for just dropping that in there. So thank you. And KW Raisman wrote, "Oh dear God, sharks are addicted to injuries like I am to soda pop."
Hey, yeah.
I love that for him. And that actually a lot of times these 3-team trades like these proposals are kind of like, all right,
It's a rare thing to see in the NFL.
But that one actually makes sense. The Jets, Aaron Rodgers reunites with his best friend, who might be his boyfriend, and gets the Jets a star receiver, and Devontae Adams. Chiefs get ready, gets him another pass rusher, and maybe, just maybe, he'll decide maybe I'll play. Maybe, you never know. Raiders get Lazard. The Jets get to dump a contract. The Raiders get a receiver. I didn't say a good one, but it's a receiver, and obviously, Jets give the Raiders a second-round picks, which is big for the Raiders because they're probably not going to have such a hot season. And then my dad said, Hussein Wright wants to go back to the Eagles. Yes, he did say that. He shouldn't have been left in the first place.
I don't even know when the last time a 3-team deal has gone, but one of the big ones is like Herschel Walker and Eric Dickerson was a 3-team trade.
Yeah, so Jets would give it to the Raiders. I'm sure there'll be picks going each way.
Well, the Jets
regardless.
Jets only get Devontae Adams.
Yeah,
that's it. Nothing else.
But I'm sure they might send another pick somewhere else.
Oh, you guys lose your second-round pick.
That's fine.
And the Chiefs lose a 6th-round pick in a swap with the Raiders for their 6th-round pick.
Okay, so
Hassan Reg.
Okay, so
but.
So a couple of picks involved. Obviously, we've been with the players. So keep your eyes peeled on that. Trade deadline is week 8. That's in 4 or 5 weeks. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But let's talk about the Tennessee Titans. Justin, I'm going to go to you. Are you surprised by any means the Tennessee Titans being 0-3?
A little bit. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit surprised because, okay, being 0-3, maybe not so much. But I would say just how they've lost.
That's very fair.
Bad. Like, I know.
Uh-oh.
We lost him again.
Yeah.
Justin does make a good point.
Am I here?
Yes, you are, Justin.
Damn right I am. So, look, the way they played, I mean, I said that Tennessee receivers go to die. Like, that's where Tennessee goes to die, or receivers go to die in Tennessee.
Absolutely.
But you still have DeAndre Hopkins. You still have Calvin Ridley. They still been quite good. But, God, Will Levis has not been playing well.
No.
But I'm not going to lie. That is like the type of stuff I would do in like rec flag football, and I have to say I love seeing it.
It's funny to watch, not funny for the Titans, but
the NFL, man, there's certain throws that he cannot make, and look, they could easily be at least a 1-2. I mean, they had that Jets game. I think they outplayed them for most of the game, but then
the first half they were by far the better team.
And then Will Levis just 2 drives he just ruins with
he decided to become a bowler and rolled the ball on the ground. The very next offensive play goes into double coverage, picked off. Does this guy not learn? And it's a shame because his arm is crazy.
This reminds me of early Josh Allen where he would just do something incredibly stupid for no reason.
Yeah, he has his arm is he's got the incredible arm, but he just makes stupid mistake after stupid mistake. And I get he's still young, but this is year 2. When you're missing year 1, okay, the team wasn't that good, not a lot of expectations, you had a new GM who was going to probably want to pick his new coach anyway. He does that in Brian Callahan. But now, all right, he picks his coach, gets to an offensive mounting guy, though I do think Mike Vrabel is a very good coach. But he gets some fresh blood in there, and off the mounting guy and Brian Callahan, who I think has a lot of potential. He gets a couple of good receivers in Calvin Ridley and Tyler Boyd. He drafts two of them off the line, brings in a legendary off the line coach, his dad, Bill Callahan. You have a solid defense there, and you still are just making boneheaded plays like that. And number line still needs a little bit of work, but overall the team I think is much better than it was last year. It's it's the stuff he's doing is I'm not the guy things, if you ask me.
You could say the same thing about week 1 because they had that game against the Bears 1. They lost to a team that didn't score offensively.
I know that they had field goals, defensive touchdowns, and they had a blocked punt. By the way, they've had a punt blocked twice All right, they had the one against the Bears, and they have one against the Jets. We're 3 weeks in. They've had a punt block twice, once for a touchdown. So that
You know what they say, guys: special teams, special players, special plays.
That's right. And in all seriousness, special teams is very important. And the Titans looks bad, like really bad. But yeah, they look rough. But all right, let's get into some game picks now. So we'll do some games in the 1 o'clock slate to start off. Saints, Falcons. We'll go around the room here. Ashton, I'll start with you.
A little around the horn? Hell yeah.
A little around the horn, literally. But make sure Justin actually gets to speak this time.
I promise I'm not forgetting about Justin. Justin is very special.
You literally forgot about me for the 3-0 teams for the 0-3
I promise
teams.
I'm not forgetting Justin. I promise.
So I'm gonna take the Falcons.
Okay.
I think Derek Carr's little Cinderella run of 2 games is over.
His 2-game.
I think he'll be fine. I think they'll still have a good season, the Saints. I just think the Falcons have a ton of momentum coming in this game. Mm-hmm. So just give me the Falcons.
I'm actually gonna. It's really hard to put my trust in Derek Carr, but I will say I think the Saints. I'm not like they should have won that game against Philly as well, and it's always a tough matchup when. It's
Sorry, my dad just said Justin, can you be special? Because I start laughing, I heard Justin start laughing.
Oh my god.
Sounds extremely special.
Take that, Justin?
What?
Is Justin gonna take that?
Bro, he's known me since I was 18. So,
Yeah.
you know.
4 years now, yeah.
But no, yeah, I think it's always a tough matchup because I think these two, the Saints and the Falcons, always kind of play close, and I don't think it's going to be the game people expect. Like, I think
it should be a close game.
I'm expecting like an 18-21 sort of thing, but I am going to go with the Saints only because there's a couple of moments, especially in like the Chiefs game, in the Steelers game, where I'm not seeing Kirk Cousins and the offense kind of get it together yet, and it's still early. It's 4 weeks in, and I expect the winner of the NFC South to be like a 9-10 win team again, but. I am going to go Saints because I think they have things offensively figured out more right now.
All right, and Justin or J Dollars, my dad just added in the chat. Who's your pick, Saints Falcons?
Give me the Falcons here. I think they're fired up after keeping it super close to the Chiefs. If Raheem Morris made the right play call, they probably would have won that game.
Or if there's PI called at the end.
That didn't help either.
Or it was PI. Yeah, that didn't help either. But also. I mean, they did get some calls to help them move down the field as well, so it kind of got returned to them. But you're 4th and inches. Just why are you doing a run out? Just send it up the gut.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take the Falcons here. I love me guys. I love me some Kirk Thuggins.
Yep.
Love me some.
Everyone loves some Kirk Thuggins.
Love me some Kirk Cousins. Love me some Bijan. Yeah, just give me that team. Give me the Falcons.
I'm gonna take Atlanta as well. I was never sold on the Saints, to be honest. I didn't have a lot of expectations going into the year. I wasn't really that into them even when they won the first 2 games. You beat Carolina, who's arguably a football team, although they looked better last week, and the Cowboys. And how about them Cowboys? So give me the Atlanta Falcons in this game. They should be pretty motivated, like you said, Ashton, because they had a tough loss last week in prime time against a really good team. So give me the Falcons. Next up is the Bengals Panthers. Amy Dalton returns to Cincinnati. It's in Carolina, but Dalton versus
his old team,
the Bengals, for I think the first time since he left.
Finally, I'm gonna say this. Finally, the Bengals are getting their win.
They're going to win.
It took them 3 weeks, but they're going to start kicking off their win streak of 1 game. The Panthers aren't good. I think the Andy Dalton Cinderella game, he'll have a good game, but I don't think he's going to have a great game like he had last game against the Bengals. I think Joe Burrow is going to have his masterclass game of the season against this Carolina Panthers team. So, give me the Bengals.
You'll see an improved offense from Carolina. I think that's pretty clear. Like, it's so crazy how it's night and day when you put an NFL caliber quarterback in that offense. And it was the right decision. I mean, like, Canales coming in, a rookie head coach,
Oh my God, it's Ryan McNeil.
Wait, what?
No.
Where?
No, it's in our chat.
Oh, what's up, Ryan?
What's up, Ryan?
It's an old friend, old friend of the program.
But yeah, I mean, you can lose the locker room as in week 3 of your head coaching tenure if you keep going with Bryce.
You said where?
I was like, I saw Riley's one of the grad assistants here on that program. I was like, and then I looked at the chat. I was like, oh.
But you can lose the locker room if you don't give your these are guys that are fighting for their jobs next season.
I think some of the veterans we're probably going up the canals like, dude, I get you drafted this kid first, but at some point
he didn't.
Well, yeah,
he wasn't the one.
At some point,
David Tepper is a terrible owner who can't.
I think the guys who have been there since last year were just like, dude, like this guy's throwing the ball 35 times for 84 yards. Get this guy out of here.
Yeah. So you'll see an improved offense, but I'm with you, Ashton. I cannot see for the life of me the Bengals losing this game.
Unless Andy Dalton has the game.
He has a revenge game.
Unless he pulls that one back out, I do not see the Bengals losing this.
And if they lose, what's the discussion on the Bengals then?
Zach Taylor's getting fired because I don't know how you have a arguably top 5 quarterback and just go out this sad.
Yeah.
I understand that Joe Burrow's coming off from a wrist injury. He had an serious injury last year that kept him out. But you don't come back with him healthy, and first week you lose to the Patriots. You lose to a Jacoby Brissett-led bad O-line Patriots.
They made so many mistakes in that game.
Then you lose a great game to the Chiefs, which is a game that I could have saw them winning, could see them losing. Then you lose to the Commanders, who they should have probably beaten, but Jane Daniels played a phenomenal game that game. So shout outs to Jane Daniels. So you lose that week. This week, there's no excuses. If you lose to the Panthers, who are probably going to be the worst team in the league at the end of the year, you're done.
Yeah.
Zach Taylor.
0-4.
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, not your fault. Zach Taylor, all your fault.
Like, KW just said Zach Taylor's in the hot seat, and he's right. If they lose this game, that seat is like the Sahara Desert at that point. And Justin, what about you?
Yeah, I know. I see a lot of talk about the Bengals, and that's fair and all.
Paused?
And that's fair and all. But let me tell you something. Clock strikes nigh for the Red Rifle. It is his time. Give me the Panthers. My fear is that this Bengals team, especially that defense, did not look great against a Commanders offense, which Jane Daniels had a phenomenal game, but all it really is on that is Terry McLaurin and Zach Ertz and Austin Eckler, and Austin Eckler was solid too, but I was very impressed with what I saw out of that Commanders offense. I think the Bengals are a little bit boomed because they lost to a team that they should have wiped the floor with.
Yeah.
And the Carolina Panthers finally have shown signs of life since last year, if not for 2 years, and they didn't just beat the Raiders, like they beat them by a lot.
Yeah,
like the
36-19.
Like the score does not do justice.
No,
like
it was not even close.
They wiped the floor
from
with
start
that
to
game.
finish.
Yeah, Jake, you and I watched that on Sunday. It was bad.
It
was bad. I think they're
start to finish is dominated.
I think they're fired up. I think the players are fired up. I think Andy Dalton's fired up. I think Dave Canales is fired up. Give me the Panthers.
All right. So, I was going to take the Panthers. Now, part of me thought, okay, Andy Dalton was not happy with how his tenure at Cincinnati ended. He didn't like that they waited to cut him when they knew they were taking quarterback first overall. And he's kind of bounced around the league as a backup. Finally gets a shot to be a starter for a somewhat extended period of time at least. So far, so good. Obviously, one game in. But I'm to the Bengals. I just think that their talent will carry them over in this game. Like we said, a lot of flaws with that team. But
what are you talking about? The Panthers had the greatest cornerback of all time, J.C. Horn.
J.C. Horn. But yeah, give me the Bengals to finally get their first win of the season. Next game is Rams at the Bears.
Rams.
Da Bears.
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah,
that's as much explaining. The Bears have not looked good at all.
Not at all. Next.
You know what the funny thing is that I get it, they're home, Chicago, but Chicago's favored in this game. I understand Los Angeles is incredibly beat up. I mean, you mentioned the teams that were consistently struggling to find health.
The injury bus only hit wide receivers.
Oh, yeah,
Only
There's a
the
difference.
Only the receiver room.
It must have missed the team itself and hit the wide receivers part of the bus. I don't know why. But I also, despite how banged up their wide receiver room is and how bad their offensive line is, and the fact that Matt Stafford might be in a hospital bed by week 8, I think the Rams are going to win this week just because Caleb hasn't looked good enough through the first 3 weeks. I'm not out on him. It's been 3 weeks, right? I think you can, in the modern NFL, you can clearly give in a year at least for these growing pains to occur for your rookie quarterbacks, because it's always hard for them to get in right away. But I think that defense for Chicago is going to have to hold up a lot more than they should, because the offense is going to be so bad. And I think the Rams and Matt Stafford is playing at MVP level, so I'll take the Rams.
Justin?
If you're the Bears here, especially if you're Caleb, this is your time. This is your time. You beat the Titans, which you had to, barely, but still, you beat the Titans. This is another game you have to win. That defense has not been as good since Aaron Donald's left. I still don't think they're incredible. This is your moment to win a game. Caleb Williams, this is your time to throw it to one of to DJ Moore or to DeAndre Swift or, to, some random Bears fan playing at the slot. So with that being said, give me the Rams.
I mean,
I knew he was going to do that.
I mean, that Rams defense is terrible.
It's the right pick,
It made Jawan Jennings look like Justin Jefferson.
Hey, that's why glorious King Jawan Jennings.
That Rams defense is garbage. One of
It's
the
not
top,
good.
bottom 5 defense in the league. So yeah, to your point, Justin, if it's going to happen for Caleb, I think in the first half of the season, it's probably going to be now, right? So
Yeah.
Plus you're home.
Well, also Caleb needs to turn his season around. He threw his first 2 passing touchdowns in week 3. Granted, he has probably the best receiving core of all the rookie quarterbacks.
By far, yeah.
I don't even think it's just by far. I think it's just he just has the best, and then everyone else is kind of just
Is there?
just there. Obviously, Jay Daniels has the second best. Obviously, JJ has the best receiver out of all of them. But you have Keenan Allen when they're healthy, DJ Moore, and you have Roma Dunze, and you have Cole Kmet, and you have DeAndre Swift. You should be doing way more with that team.
Benched.
Khalil Herbert is on that team too.
Yeah.
You have so much talent, and you're doing nothing with it.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're in Chicago. I don't care if this team was in New York. I don't care if this Bears team was in Tennessee. I don't care where this Bears team's located. It's not location. It's Caleb Williams.
That's true. I'm also going to take the Rams. Caleb looked really bad. That offensive line is horrible. The Rams pass rush isn't phenomenal. We just talked about how the defense is struggling, but that offense looks just dysfunctional right now. KW said the Bears coaching suck. He's absolutely right. Matt Eberflus is just horrible. I'm not sure why he still has a job. Shane Waldron isn't doing Caleb Williams any favors. I actually think it's Luke Getsy just wearing a Halloween costume. Honestly, I actually think maybe he works for them and the Raiders. I don't know what's going on, but give me the Rams to get past the Bears in that one. Next game is Vikings at Packers.
Vikings, because the Packers, I think are going to be starting Jordan Love again. So I don't think they're going to be the same as they were the last 2 weeks.
Or are they starting Malik?
Jordan Love's questionable, so they haven't made a decision yet, but I do think they're bringing Jordan Love back.
I think Jordan Love's on track to play this week. It's the plan.
So I'm going to say they're going to be a little rusty. If it's Malik, it could be a toss-up. But the way Sam Darnold has been leading this offense, he's been playing. When you talk about game managers, he's been playing it perfectly.
Yeah.
He's getting it to his receivers. He's
That's all he's got to do in that
time.
offense. That's all he got to do.
He's not pulling a Will Levis and making everything throwable like Justin said. Because Justin threw out the conversation if is the ball throwable? Where it used to be, is the ball catchable?
No, Will Levis has changed
right.
the game. He's changed the game. I was talking about this yesterday at Thursday Night Football.
The ball throwable.
Yeah, I'm talking about, we changed the game. It's like...
The ball throwable. That's a good one.
Because I was saying, people are talking about catchable balls. The receiver should have caught that. Was the quarterback overthrow? Was it a catchable ball? No. Will Levis looks at that coverage and is like, there's five linemen absolutely about to destroy me. Is this a throwable ball? The answer is always yes.
Yeah.
Take the risk.
But yeah, Nick.
Yeah, so I think this is.
Sorry if I cut you off.
Nah, you're good.
I mean, you can.
I was going to say, like what we saw from Sam Darnold is not the Sam Darnold we saw in New York. Like
By no means.
I remember in New York he would force things.
Yes.
Which was a big issue for him. And this year, I don't know what the heck Kevin O'Connell did, or if it was Kyle Shanahan last year, but they took that game out of him. He's only forcing it deep if it's there. Like on that 73-yard touchdown against the Niners, from like the 3-yard line, he just unleashed it. He threw that 97-yard touchdown. Obviously, it only went the ball went 50 yards, and then the rest of the way was from Justin Jefferson. But you couldn't say he just chucked that to chuck that. He threw that because Justin Jefferson got wide open and burnt coverage. And he took it. He took his chance. He got it. And then next thing you know, we have a guy who's the 3rd overall pick in 2018 is looking like an MVP candidate. Obviously, do I expect him to play like this every single week from now on? No, but I do think he'll still have really good games and probably gonna lead the Vikings team. So, Nick, what were you gonna say?
I think this is a game of the week for me. These two teams right now, are both looking like playoff teams in a questionable NFC. Jordan Love finally gets back, and I can't be more impressed with Matt LaFleur, what he's done with Malik Willis. It's night and day compared. Granted, he's asked Malik not to that much, but the fact that they're still able to win those two games. If you talk to Packers fans after the Jordan Love injury, immediately after, it was like, our season is over. And now you flash forward 3 weeks, you've won 2 games in a row, and Jordan Love's coming back. You went from our season is finished to we're perfectly fine. If Jordan Love didn't get hurt, we're probably 2-1 anyways. So what Matt LaFleur has done with Malik Willis and getting those 2 wins and getting back on track is incredible. He's definitely one of the best offensive minds in the league with Kevin O'Connell, which is why I think the matchup between LaFleur against Flores is going to be incredible, just because Flores did it to Bobby Slowick, and the week before he did it to Shanahan, which was incredibly impressive. So I think for me, I'm trusting Jordan Love that Jordan Love is healthy. I don't think there's going to be rust as long as he is actually healthy. If Malik Willis has to play, I'm going to take the Vikings. If Jordan Love plays, I do think the Packers are going to win at home.
Justin?
Nick might be right. Nick, I fear you cooked. This might be game of the week.
Uh-oh.
This is game of the week.
Might be.
I don't know. Wow, this is actually a really tough guess because both these teams have a lot of. I feel like I know I say fired up a lot.
There's a lot of moving parts in this one for sure.
I know I say fired up a lot, but I'm sure as our former football athlete and Ashton would know, if you're fired up before a game, it could mean a lot to your morale. At least I hope it did.
Especially when your coach yells at you after a win and makes you run the day after. So the next week you end up going and absolutely blowing out the team. A week later, it does work. It does work.
But you know what? Give me the Packers in overtime. Give me an OT. Give me an OT. Give me an OT banger.
I want it to go down to the last second.
Yeah, so do I. Let's do it.
I don't want to see it end in 2 minutes of the quarter. I want to see the whole period, and then someone just kicks a random 70-yard field goal that doesn't matter.
All right, I'm gonna take the Vikings. I do think Jordan Love is going to come back, but I think he might be a little bit rusty. A sprained MCL, and then to come back within a month is kind of tough to do. I'm a little surprised he actually wasn't put on injured reserve. I'm a little worried they're rushing him back, especially after they just gave him $220 million. So I'll say there's a little bit of rust. I'll take the Vikings in this game.
Split?
We are split.
We're 2-2.
All right, next game is Jacksonville Jaguars at the Houston Texans.
Give me Houston because Jacksonville isn't anything this year. I kind of feel bad for Trevor Lawrence. Not gonna lie,
really don't.
Jacksonville
I
has
really don't feel
sincerely
bad for him.
ruined that man's career.
How?
They didn't do anything for him. They gave him Christian Kirk, which was good. But after that, they pretty much gave him and Evan Ingram. After that, they pretty much
They gave him
done
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, for 1 year.
They gave him Travis Etienne.
Well, they drafted him the same year, so obviously they wanted teammates together. But after that, they've done nothing for him. They brought in Gabe Davis, who's not that good, and I know Nick could probably attend to that.
He has his four. He has like the 4 go-rounds a year.
He also has horrible coaching. Like Doug Marrone had one good year.
Peterson?
Doug Peterson, that's what I meant to say. Doug Marone's their old coach in like 2014. That's a name I pulled out of a hat.
Bill's coach 2014.
Yeah.
I think before he was the Jaguar.
Yeah, I forgot. It was one way, but I just remembered Doug Marrone, so that's why I said Doug Marrone instead of Doug Peterson. But Doug Peterson hasn't been good in Jacksonville. He had that one good year, then made the comeback against the Chargers, and Trevor Lawrence looked good. That was his second year. And then they've done nothing to try to help this man. This poor man's just sitting in a pocket, getting hit because no one gets open other than Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. And when those two are out, it's just kind of wish-wash.
Yeah, I think picking anyone other than the Texans in this instance is kind of crazy. Granted, it's the NFL, so who knows? But I think this could be the week Peterson gets fired. Like, if this is a bad loss, like it's not competitive and they get blown out and this game's over by the second quarter, I think Peterson could be the first coach gone after this week for sure. Because, like, let's look at their schedule real quick. You just played against the Bills. You have Houston coming up, and then you go. Well, you have the Colts, then the Bears, Packers. That's it. Or Packers, sorry, Patriots, then Packers. So those next 3 games are, I wouldn't say I'd probably favor them in, at least 1, maybe 2 of those games, but this is probably it. This is probably Peterson's swan song if he isn't able to win. And I agree with you, Ashton. Peterson has always been kind of a strange pick for me. I feel like this franchise has been spinning its tires for a little bit too long, and they're a talented team. I mean, they have pieces. I don't think they have a one, like you mentioned, like Kirk, Ridley, Gabe, Brian Thomas.
Well, Ridley left in free agency to the Titans.
Right. They had Ridley. Yeah. My apologies. But they got Brian Thomas. He looks like a decent, rookie season, but he does look like he has the talent to become
he looks good. I thought he was very underrated coming out of college.
Yeah.
I guess he was overshadowed by Neighbors. Yeah. I think this team really needs a new voice and a new direction. So give me the Texans and give me a bold prediction is that Peterson gets fired after this week.
Here comes Bill Belichick.
It's possible because Jacksonville's in the spot like maybe it'll give him a spark if the coach gets fired.
I think it's the other thing is I heard and Boston reporters actually reported
that Bill might take the job.
Well, not just that. The owner for the Jacksonville Jaguars is never in the building.
Oh, Khan?
Yeah, he's never there. He's pretty much just let the team be run, but it gets to the point where it's like it can get like into like a battle like wars type rooms in there because there's
you
want to
know why
stop.
that? Well, you want to know why that is, Ashton? He's too busy doing damage control for his son.
Exactly.
For his son, he does like
probably being in that rehab. Little drugs he takes.
Then the other thing is it's just like now when everything goes the shambles in there and everyone's arguing, no one's there to break it up.
Yeah.
There's no like middle ground like, hey, you both have your sides, you both have your opinions, but no one's breaking up. So what ends up happening is, it's Doug Peterson's fault or it's the Yams' fault. How about it's just both of y'all's fault?
I think Shad Khan should call his brother and say, hey, get MJF in here. We need to solve something. Have him just insult them like he does every single time he goes on TV. Justin, who is your pick?
Just give me Texans. That's it.
Yeah,
that's the only sense I want to say.
Exactly. But like Ryan just commented, what do you have for breakfast?
That's a throwback.
That is a throwback to Jake and Justin in the morning.
That's a throwback. And here's the thing. For everybody, I'm gonna pull a Paul Heyman here. For everyone who says that Jake and Justin in the morning is dead, it's not dead.
Nope, not dead.
It's never been dead. Because
they always talk sports in the morning.
Yeah, we always talk sports.
Exactly.
We always talk sports. Now, I'm just in the background. I'm doing what I love. He does what he loves. Yep. I'm doing 3 things at once. You guys have no... I'm actually doing 4 things at once. You guys have no idea. I'm the audio guy. I'm switching cameras. I'm building up a chat poll. And I'm talent. Good God. Am I a
producer? You're also producing a show right now.
I'm also a producer. I'm producing a show right now. This is going on my track, guys. This is going on my director's track.
Checker rig.
So you yeah, Justin is killing it in the back. He's absolutely going off.
Oh, someone added that right.
Egg, potato, sausage, and cheese breakfast burrito. KW Raceman. KW Raceman. 5151 Park Ave, Martyr Center. Bring me that right now.
Take a
That
flight.
sounds actually phenomenal.
Take it. Go wherever you are. Just go.
Sadly, I cannot eat that because it has egg in it.
But yeah. But
Don't
yeah,
give it to Ashton.
But yeah, just give me the Texans. It's that simple.
Yeah.
The Jaguars aren't cooking.
No. Can you smell what the Texans are cooking? Yes, it's a win. Give me the Houston Texans. Next game on the docket is Pittsburgh Steelers at the Indianapolis Colts. So not sure I'm going to be watching that game, but Ashton, who's your pick for that one?
This game is so mid. Granted, I'm going to pick the Steelers here just because the Colts have been so bad. Anthony Richardson leads the league in interceptions. I think the Steelers defense are going to get it done. I think it's legit might be a 10-0 game. I think
KW's all happily cooking for y'all.
Let's fucking go, dude.
Please do. Please do.
Let's go, bro.
But Nick, what about you?
I mean, you're looking at two teams. I just pulled up their passing yards statistics. You got
probably like 75.
so you've got the Steelers averaging 158, which ranks 20 per game, which ranks 29th in the league, and you have the Indianapolis Colts with a modest 184, which is 24th in the league. So, yeah, two teams that aren't really
is worse
pleasure to watch.
Then 29.
It's strange because Richardson,
New England, Carolina, and who else? Titans.
Yeah, probably Carolina.
Definitely New
Tennessee,
England.
maybe?
Definitely has to be New England. We never had too much
No. It might be Miami after last
Oh, yeah, because Miami
Yeah.
doesn't have anything.
But these are two teams, obviously, they have to win a certain way right now. Anthony Richardson's looked a bit rough. A bit is a bit of an understatement, which is surprising because... I guess it is surprising, but not so much, only because, yes, he did get to sit last year, but also, this is his first year. I count this as his rookie year. I mean, he didn't really play last year. So
he's playing like he's a rookie. That's for sure.
That's for sure. I'm gonna go with Indianapolis just because I think I trust Indy and I trust Richardson. Maybe it's blind trust, but I trust him to make a few plays here or there that it's gonna make a difference that I don't trust Justin Fields to make. Fields maybe won't be as mistake prone as he is, and he's shown that he isn't mistake prone. But there's nothing really about him that I say, oh, you need to make one or two plays this week. Justin, don't make them. Okay.
Here's the bottom three. After Pittsburgh, because that just started to stump me, now trying to figure out who's worse. It's Cleveland at 30 with 152.3.
Ew.
Then it's the LA Chargers with 127.7, but that's a run-heavy team. That's what Jim Harbaugh has to run. And then it's New England at 102 yards per game.
Oof, yikes.
Wow.
So
Don't put Drake May in that. Please don't.
Please don't.
Let him sit.
Please no. All right, Justin, who's your pick?
Sign Bakhtiari for 5 games.
Yeah,
Then
dude,
Dwayne Brady.
Took his hurt.
This is I'm just gonna go with the Steelers. I was never high on Anthony Richardson going into when he came out of Florida. He has not impressed me this year, and he is healthy this year. So, what's the excuse now? What they gonna say now? So it's simple. Give me the Steelers, and the Steelers.
Yeah, by the way, KW Raven just said, as a Gators fan, Anthony Richardson will make play, but he will also make more mistakes. Anthony Richardson, it's weird. He can make 99. He can make throws that 99% of quarterbacks can't make. He also can't make 99% of those that quarterbacks can make. I don't understand. He's really confusing. He's still young. We'll see what happens. But I am going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers.
My question is what plays?
He has the potential to. He hasn't made them yet, obviously. But I'm going to take...
Well, last time he tried, he blew out his shoulder.
Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers because Anthony Richardson is definitely going to make he's definitely going to make more mistakes. I think he'll be doing that for a little while now. Denver Broncos at the New York Jets.
Just sign the Jets up for the win. I don't think that's a game. That's like a bye week for the Jets. Sean Payton's Broncos and Bo Nix. Bo Nix is mid.
I think the tougher test for the Jets this week is going to be the MetLife turf, more so than the Denver Broncos themselves.
The team they're playing is more the stadium itself than the team.
They're always playing the stadium too. So some teams have home field advantage.
2-2 against 1.
So they'll have to go 2-2 Atwell, the Broncos, so they're not winning.
But yeah, no, I think the Jets are looking a lot better. I mean, Rodgers last week, I mean, the mobility that he had.
That surprised me, yeah.
Trusting his Achilles a little bit more. I think if he has that mobility to extend plays, and he played like he is last week, the Jet team is going to be a contender for the AFC East. And it worries me because Rodgers, again, granted, Patriots, no offense, not the greatest competition, but, this is Aaron Rodgers. In week 3, now week 4 into the season, I think he's only going to get better as the season goes on. So I'm going to take the Jets, and I'm curious to see how they stack up because we all know that the schedule they have for the next, we talked about it a few weeks ago, their schedule isn't the greatest. But you have the Broncos this week, but then now it's like we looked at the Vikings like, oh, that team isn't going to be anything. That team now is a really tough test for the Jets. It goes Vikings, Bills, Steelers, Patriots, Texans, Cardinals. So the Jets, I think this is the last week where they can, kind of have like that mini bye week sort of thing.
Yeah. Then
before the real test comes, but I'm liking what they are doing so far. So give me the Jets.
Justin?
Jake, you already know my answer.
Yeah.
I already know your answer.
Exactly.
So just say it with me. J-E-T-S. Jets. Jets. Jets.
Give me the Jets. Oh, and Sean Payton, if you get clowned on, do not watch Talk Sports with Jake Monday morning.
It's also
Again?
It's happening again.
You already had this rant before.
It's also a Nathaniel Hackett reunion.
Huh? What's
It's
up?
also a Nathaniel Hackett reunion. Which is,
I mean, they played last year, and the Jets won, which led to my rant on the show that Ashton and Justin and I did last year that we're hoping to bring back at some point. The firing squad, of course. But obviously, that was with Zach Wilson. Now it's with Aaron Rodgers, which obviously adds a little bit more fuel to the fire. So this should be this is a kind of storylines galore in this game, though I do think the Jets will take care of business, no problem. Next game, Philadelphia Eagles up with Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tampa. Eagles are not that good. They have they have no receiving core right now. Both AJ Brown's out. Devonta Smith just had probably a concussion.
He got ruled out. Devonta got ruled out. AJ is questionable.
So it's basically going to be Goddard and Barkley show. I don't think that's going to be enough to get overpowered by the Buccaneers' offense. It's really good with Baker. Obviously, I think the Bucs are a great team now, but I do think that they're good enough to win this game against this Eagles. I know the Eagles' defense is really good, but I think the Bucs are being at home. I think this is Philly. You might just say Philly, but give me the Bucs in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to take Tampa Bay too. They had a rough last week against the Broncos, just out of nowhere it feels like. But I think this is a good bounce back spot. Philly is obviously tough, but when you like how their defense played last week.
Who picked the Broncos?
KW Raisman.
Oh,
Sailor's friend.
Him and I gotta have a conversation.
I think the Bucs defensively are not going to be playing that bad. I like the Bucs defense a lot more than what they showed last week. I think Baker had a uncharacteristically. Vita Vea is one of the components on that defense you're scared about. Baker had a uncharacteristically bad game last week, which was kind of surprising to me. But I'm really not impressed with Philly's offense, and they're down really big pieces. Buccaneers at home. I think for me, the vibes aren't there for Philly right now, and there's some things defensively they have to figure out. Though they did a good job against New Orleans, but I will take the Bucs in a close and competitive game.
Yeah, and KW reasoning was the Broncos beat the Bucs, can't root against them now because he's a Bucs fan. All right, I guess I still think you're gonna be wrong, but he just said screw Sean Payton now, so now we're on the same page. Justin,
Buccaneers. It's just that simple, baby. Nick Sirianni ain't that good.
No.
I mean, neither is Todd Bowles, but you cannot.
Todd Bowles has just been.
But I have been saying this since freshman year when I was just sitting in my Roncalli chair, falling over on my ass. I have always said don't sleep on Baker, and every time I said don't sleep on Baker, Baker all of a sudden wakes up and plays. He wakes up, bro.
Incredible word choice.
It is time for Turville to not sleep on Baker anymore. Beat the Eagles. It's their time.
All right. So I did game picks yesterday myself. I picked the Eagles, but now that Devonta Smith is out, I don't think AJ Brown's gonna play. Jalen Hurts is looking more fraudulent by the minute. I am going to take the Bucs. I don't think the Bucs are that good. I think they're the same team they were last year. I've said this many times on and off camera. They are the same team they were last year, except they're a year older and a lot more expensive. I think they're probably going to go 9-8 again. It depends on if the Falcons falter or not, whether or not they'll get into the playoffs and win that division. But Philly, without the weapons, because Jalen Hurts, I think is dependent on his weapons a lot. Which is that is how that team is built, to be fair. But at the same time, they don't have. They're not gonna have Devonta. I don't think they're gonna have Brown. So give me the Bucs. And then Kid Ray can say, went to the division room. Well, yeah, you played an Eagles team that literally just gave up by like week 13 of the season. Congratulations. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this game. All right, so next up into the 405 slate, Washington Commanders of the Arizona Cardinals.
Jane Daniels. That's how I'm going to say it. The Cardinals haven't been great this year. They've been a little bit competitive, but I don't think they've been really that great. But coming off the performance they had last week against the Bengals, Jane Daniels played phenomenally. I think if you can keep up that momentum, they're going to win this week against the Cardinals. And I think they can win pretty fashionably.
Nick?
Hey, if you want to go to this game, I mean, granted, Arizona is a very long flight, but I was, for some reason, just like, the ticket prices are on the ESPN website, and I'm seeing, like, tickets as low as $178 for Green Bay, Minnesota.
SCM trip, guys? SCM trip?
I mean,
I looked down,
Thorne's already there.
I looked down to our game here, it's like, tickets as low as $15.
Did you just dox our professor?
Shout out to
Dox
Professor
him?
Thorne, who runs the grad program here. He resides in Arizona.
Well, right now he's filming a tournament in Canada for golf for NBC, so he may not be in Arizona.
He may not be able to make it, all right.
But, no, I think this game, I just don't trust as much as Jaden Daniels looked impressive,
Kindly doxing Professor, nothing serious.
As much as Jaden Daniels looked incredibly impressive, I still am I don't think that Washington defense is that great, and I think we're going to have another game like we had 2 weeks ago where Marvin Harrison and Kyler Murray play one of their best games of their career. I'm going to go Arizona, but in a very fun, entertaining game.
Justin?
Kind of a banger match, guys. Kind of a banger.
It's an exciting game to watch.
I mean, Jaden Daniels has looked great so far. We haven't talked about him enough of Marvin Harrison Jr.'s looked great so far when they actually target him. I'm sure.
This kid over here.
I know, Ashton, you're the Ohio State guy. I'm sure you're impressed with. I'm sure you're impressed with how he's doing in the NFL.
Best receiver in Ohio State history.
He's up there.
Probably
up there.
is.
He gets a chance to be better than his dad, so.
He's got to win a Super Bowl first, but yeah.
His potential is through the roof.
I mean, yeah, but you know what? Give me the Cardinals. I like them a little bit more.
What's the final score?
Outside of McBride, I'm a little upset that McBride's out because I'm a fantasy guy, and that just made me want to curl up into a corner and cry.
Don't cry, Justin.
I will cry. I will cry. But give me the Cardinals. I'm gonna say it's an absolute shootout. Give me the Cardinals 54-47.
Wow!
Damn.
I do think it'll be high scoring now. That should be a high flying game.
The line is set at 48.5, so I actually probably bet.
That'll crush that.
I'd probably take the over. I'd probably take the. I'm not a betting guy. I've bet a grand total of 0 times when it comes to sports betting. But I would probably take the over if you're into that. But I'm gonna take the Commanders. They've actually looked a lot better than I thought. Jane Daniels looks more NFL ready than I thought. He looks really good. He's obviously an incredible athlete. He's playing very well. They don't have Austin Eckler this week, but I don't think it'll matter that much. I think Brian Robinson will step up. Give me the Commanders in this game. Next game is the New England Patriots at the San Francisco 49ers. So, Ashton.
Let me cook.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Both teams come in injury prone. Both teams have a lot of injuries. But one team comes without a quarterback. And that's the New England Patriots. So give me San Francisco.
Okay.
I was going to lead you on I was going to pick the Patriots, but I was never going to pick the Patriots at all in this game. If Brock Purdy and George Kittle and Debo wasn't playing,
he said 49ers 70-0.
See, that's being generous.
That's being generous.
I think this game could be competitive if the Patriots want to play their style of football. But the issue is that our style of football is a one-way sport. It's called running the football, running down your throats, and that's just not how you win in this league. So, give me the Niners 28-10.
Okay. Nick?
I think, I don't want to dilute my analysis here, but yeah, it's San Francisco. Like, New England is doing the right thing, like protecting Drake May. They're building towards something. I think they're doing the smart thing there, and San Francisco is just on a completely different level right now in their timelines. Give me San Francisco at home. But hopefully they don't sustain more injuries because it's honestly a ridiculous how...
Yeah.
They're a ticking time bomb every time it comes to injuries. It's like Chris McCaffrey, then it's George Kittle, then it's Debo, and then one comes back, and then like Ayuk gets hurt. I'm like, you guys just stay healthy, man.
I know, every year.
You guys are like a Super Bowl team that I want to see win a Super Bowl, but then I can't root for you because you don't have enough players.
I know.
Hey, at least John Jennings is turning out to be something, so.
Yeah.
How about you, Justin?
I did it last time we were on this. Ashton, I'm doing it for you.
Wow,
I'm doing it for you.
again.
Give me the New England Patriots.
They're waiting now because Justin said it.
It
He
is
did
time-
pick them in week 1.
It's
He did.
time for the New England Patriots again. Kyle Shanahan still has PTSD from losing from losing. From losing in the Super Bowl. He still has
my
PTSD.
God.
He's not gonna be able to stop them. Nobody will stop this train for the Patriots this week. Give me New England.
All right. I'm going to take my Niners. They do have a bunch of injuries. McCaffrey's out, but Jordan Mason is filled in nicely. Debo's not going to play. Kittle we're not sure about. But I do think...
Kittle and Brock Purdy are expected to play.
Yeah, okay. So the Wolf Kittle...
Trent Williams is an I don't know. Maybe.
But, like, the defense should be mostly healthy. They won't have... Javon Hargrave, I don't think they're going to have the rest of the year. Obviously, you won't get Troy Greenlaw back yet. But they have Nick Bosa, and he might rip a hole in Jacoby Brissett. So give me the 49ers by... I'll say by at least 2 touchdowns.
Actually, no. Everyone needs to sing prayers for Jacoby Brissett.
Yes, pray for Jacoby Brissett. That poor man.
He may not leave without a sore back or a sore leg or a sore something.
Yeah. All right. Next up, the 421, the 425 games is the Kansas City Chiefs at the Los Angeles Chargers.
The Chargers are so injury prone right now. Only player on their injury report that might play is Joe Alt. So give it the Chiefs. The Chiefs are just gonna win the game. I don't think you really see much there. The Chiefs are 2-time champion back-to-back years. Obviously they won 3 already. They're going for a 3-peat, which I don't think is gonna happen. Spoiler. But I don't think the Chargers throw up a chance with all these injuries. If they were healthy, I say the Chargers might win because of how dominant their run game has been, and Herbert just have to make smart plays has been perfect. Obviously, you can do a lot more with Justin Herbert. Obviously, he's a great quarterback, but just give me a Chiefs for this game. Maybe next game I'll be choosing the other way around.
Nick?
I think the Chiefs are going to win this game, but they're going to do it again like the way they've always done, which is like win by 1 point on a miraculous, crazy play that they probably should have lost on. And the opponent has multiple chances to beat them, but ultimately the Chiefs are inevitable, so give me the Chiefs.
Like Thanos, they are inevitable. Justin?
Just give me the Chiefs. I mean, if everybody was healthy, I would say this would be way closer.
Yeah.
I would say this is game of the week.
Yeah.
This should have been game of the week.
It should have been if everyone was healthy, but of course they're not. So yeah, just give me the Chiefs. It's that simple.
Candy Rayson said the Swifts are winning, and I agree. I got the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chargers, Herbert's playing through an ankle injury. You might be without a really good left tackle. You're probably gonna be without your top edge rusher. You can't not have that many can't be without that many key players against the Chiefs and expect to even have a fighting chance. So give me the Kansas City Chiefs in that game. All right, so the other 425 game is the Cleveland Browns at the Las Vegas Raiders. Deshaun Watson versus Gardner Minshew.
God dang, this is a garbage game. Give me a tie. I don't even want
A tie!
This team...
I've had a couple of tie winners on this show. Surprising. I never thought I'd see that. We've had it 3 times in 3 weeks.
Because, I just cannot... I cannot, in my right mind, choose a winner for this game. Both teams just have not been themselves.
Well, I think they have. They're both just not that good.
Well, here's the thing. They would be better, the Browns, if they had Nick Chubb.
And if
they had Nick
quarterback
Chubb-
did absolutely suck.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think it matters when your QB sucks when you have Nick Chubb beating the defense.
I mean, their team is not that bad otherwise, but when your quarterback can't throw the ball more than 6 yards.
I'm thinking a tie.
A tie?
Right? I'm saying this game's ending a tie. But on paper, with the injuries that the Raiders have, they don't have Devontae Adams, they don't have Marcel Mayer, they don't have Max Crosby. The Browns should win this game. But since they're so bad and they're so bad, this game's ending like 10-10 in overtime.
Wow. All right, Nick.
This game also is like a I don't care kind of game sort of thing. But I will say,
you know it's gonna be 0-0 tie.
0-0 tie. 0-0.
look at his first. Look at the comment above it.
Oh God, I can't even say that on. I can't. I'm not saying that one.
That one is if you're watching the stream, you can read it.
Yes, you can read it. I'm not say it.
But
that's extreme.
On the topic of Deshaun Watson, he is playing absolutely terrible. I mean, he's not playing like a starting NFL quarterback.
I just saw Justin's poll. Taylor Swift against the Blue Medical Tents. Incredible work. You can read it. You shall read it.
Deshaun Watson's been playing terrible recently. He continues.
Are you okay?
I just whacked my knees. Keep going.
Okay.
Deshaun Watson continued to play terribly, and the Raiders. I mean, I'm not like totally bought into their new regime, but look, I just don't want to root for Deshaun Watson. Case closed. So I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
Okay, fair enough. Justin.
My fellow NFL lovers, this game will have everything that you ever want to see in a football game. There will be safeties. There will be blocked punts. There will be punts at the 1 yard line. There will be there will be missed field goals, whiffed kicks, horrendous sacks, blown coverage, wide open misses and throws. This might be one of the greatest, worst games to ever play.
Can I say this? Actually, make your pick.
No, you go first.
Because it's based off something you said.
You literally just interrupted my fucking monologue for this, so you might as well continue.
If either of these teams' kickers miss in a dome, everyone on that team deserves to be cut.
Miss the dome, it's true.
You know, anything you want to see that never happens, it's happening in this game. Give me the Las Vegas Raiders 8-5.
8-5. Wow.
It'll be a safety. It'll be a safety on both teams. The Browns will kick a field goal, and then the Raiders will have one touchdown, no extra point.
Wow. All right, but I'm gonna take Cleveland. The Raiders don't have Devontae Adams and Max Crosby. That's kind of their whole team right there. Minshew, who isn't the best, though he has looked okay so far, doesn't have a whole lot to throw to. Now they're not, although they may be able to generate some pass rush because that Cleveland Browns offensive line has a ton of injuries. But this will not be a good game. It'll be sloppy. But give me the Browns. They'll be like 13-9 or something like that. So give me Cleveland to squeak by in a messy game. Then we got Sunday Night Football. Knicks, Buffalo Bills at the Baltimore Ravens. Ashton?
I'm actually going to pull out a surprise.
Okay.
Give me the Ravens.
Oh.
I think they cooked up last week just enough that they can pull out this win. Obviously,
they're a better football team than 1 and 2, I will say.
Oh, they're way better than 1 and 2 football team. They just kind of got unlucky at week 1. They played the defending champs.
Week 1.
In Arrowhead, which is like the hardest place to play. I think they're a lot better. They showed it last week by beating the Dallas Cowboys. And they didn't just beat the Dallas Cowboys. They kind of like dismantled the Cowboys. The Cowboys didn't even score a touchdown in that game. Wait.
They came all the way back and almost won.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I completely forgot. I just remember when it was like something to 30.
20-6, and then they came back and made a game.
Obviously, the Ravens in that game took their pedal off the metal. But they're at home, I think, against the Buffalo Bills. I don't think the Bills have looked spectacular, but they haven't looked bad either. They've been a good team. They haven't been great, like obviously
Nobody look at my poll. Nobody look at my poll.
Okay.
Second round exit in blue, second round exit in purple.
Against the Browns.
Well, the other one.
No, the one that just came up. Second round exit in blue or second round exit in purple. But give me the Ravens.
Exit in blue. Oh, that one. All right. So
I'm going to take the Ravens 28-24 over the Buffalo Bills.
All right, Nick.
Okay, so I've gone back and forth with this game, just because obviously the Ravens are, they defending AFC North champions. They're 1-2, but I don't think they're 1-2 because they're a bad team. I think they took a little bit of time to kind of rediscover who they are on offense, because the way they're constructed is that they want to be this spread-heavy offense that Lamar can finally use to his full disposal.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Greg Roman offenses of the past. The issue, though, is the way the team is constructed, the roster talent, it is totally predicated on running the football. And I think they realized that. Again, they played against a really bad Dallas run game, so I think the matchup there was perfect. But you saw them get it going. I worry about the Bills being able to defend the run in nickel and stay in there. Now, granted, Lamar has not been. We have a good track record against him. In the 2021 or 20, I guess it's technically the 2020 divisional round.
Yeah.
He obviously didn't play that great. In a few years ago, he didn't play that great in another loss. So we haven't. Although I think we played him the year before in 2019, he did beat us, but he didn't play particularly well. What I'm trying to say is that it's a little bit difficult of a decision, only because I feel like, match up with Lamar very well, but I'm also very worried about Derrick Henry. I'm going to go with the Bills, but I'm not very confident about it, only because I think Josh Allen is playing the best football of his career, and his offense is very, very impressive the last 3 weeks, and I don't trust the Ravens' defense right now. Obviously incredibly talented, but I think Josh can do that.
Justin?
Give me the Ravens here. I think the Bills need to beat a very good team so they can learn from it and then kind of fix those mistakes, because they haven't really faced a lot yet. I mean, and they've blown out everybody they've played against, which is huge. But playing the Jaguars and the Dolphins when Tua got hurt, after that isn't necessarily as big of a deal, and then beating the Cardinals also isn't huge. But if you beat the Ravens. If you beat the Ravens, that's big, but if you lose to them, you then know what you could fix ahead of time, and that's what I consider a good win, or a good loss to have. So give me the Ravens.
I'm gonna take the Buffalo Bills. This should be a really good game. I'm very excited for this. We should get a good primetime game here. I agree with Nick. I do think Josh Allen is playing the best football of his career as of right now. We'll see if that lasts, or if he has to turnover issues again as the season goes on. We will see what happens. But I'm gonna take the Bills. The Ravens secondary has been phenomenal. The Bills pass down low looks really good. I think the Bills have been a more balanced offense this year. So give me the Buffalo Bills. And then to cap off, we have a doubleheader among the four yet again. The first game is definitely the least interesting of the two. Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans against Tyler Huntley and the Miami Dolphins.
Why do I not want to pick this game at all? I'm not even going to watch this game. This game is so bad, I don't even want to watch. I don't know who to pick. Who do you pick in this situation? A guy who's going to throw a dumb pick and make some mean picture out of it, or a team with their fifth quarterback playing this year? God, give me the Titans. The Titans finally need a win, so give it to them.
Why do we pick, even going into this game, what was the thought process from ESPN? Why would this game be on national television?
Well, they thought it was probably going to be better, and then just happened not to be.
I mean, this game was on ESPN last year, right? And didn't Tennessee upset them?
KW thinks it's going to be a 0-0 tie.
Again.
I'm going to trust Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins very hesitantly. I think they need a win to keep their season alive. We don't know about the status of
Their
Tua.
season's over. You got
Yeah.
Skylar Thompson and Tim Boyle out there
I mean,
last
like,
week.
I mean, if somehow Tua miraculously comes back like midway through the season,
I
maybe
think
it's not
Tua's
over.
career is over, unfortunately. I think it's over.
I think it should be, but I don't think it's going to be. I mean, as evidenced by again, they keep saying it's a Tua decision. It's a Tua decision. I don't know, man. I really think someone should step in for him and tell him like, hey, like you probably shouldn't be playing football anymore. But
Bro, you have like 9 concussions. Like,
And he has 2 young kids. Like when you want to see them grow up and not be like lost.
It's a tough decision there. But from a football perspective, I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. But honestly, I can see this game going anywhere.
KW thinks the game should be on Disney Plus.
I think
agree.
that's actually offensive to Disney. So
Yeah, Disney Plus will lose.
I think that
subscribers
game
after
should be previewed on like CW or something.
Yeah,
CW.
put it on
CW.
CW broadcast?
Yeah.
CW.
They're doing some of the Big 12 games, so yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
and they're getting NXT
Or
starting
what's
on
the
Tuesday.
what's the home TV channel? Like that
What?
shows like home stuff, like buying homes.
HGTV.
HGTV. That's where it should be. That's where it should be
Yeah,
traded on.
HGTV. All right, Justin, what is your pick?
Ooh, you know what, guys? These are the games that I crave.
Ooh.
These are the games, just like, I mean, this is not going to be as bad as Raiders Browns, but this is going to be pretty bad, guys.
Yeah.
Give me the Mayo Man.
Ooh,
Give
taking
me
the Titans.
It's Will Levis. I tell you, any ball is throwable. It's not his fault. Brian Callahan just needs to coach around him better, and he just needs to send the wide receivers a little more forward, so that he can throw some horrendous ball that is a catchable ball, and then they can run like 40 yards back. It'll be the craziest check down you've ever seen. So give me the Tennessee Titans.
I'm going to take the Dolphins. They're going to pivot to Tyler Huntley. He's a little better than Skylar Thompson and Tim Boyle. Skylar Thompson is dreadful. Tim Boyle, how he's lasted in the NFL is a giant question. Huntley is, I guess, a serviceable backup, so I guess that's an upgrade. They're at home. Miami's a tough place to play. The Titans are really bad. This is going to be a really bad game. But I'll take Huntley, who's at least played a good amount of football over the last couple of years with the weapons that he's got over the Titans. So I'll say Miami squeaks by in a messy game. And to close out the nightcap for Monday Night Football, the Seattle Seahawks at the Detroit Lions.
The Seattle Seahawks are going to win this game for one reason. The Lions have not been good this year. They've not been the Lions we saw last year. The kind of the Lions, like Justin said, of the last 20 years.
Well, the Lions lost 20, we would have known 3.
But obviously they had their games where they played well, but they weren't like last year. They were dominant. Like they just won games. Like you weren't like, oh, they won a game. Like you're like, oh, they won that game. Like even if it was a 28-24 game against the Green Bay Packers or a good team, you're like, you were impressed every single week. It didn't matter who the opponent was because you just saw a different team that was out there. It wasn't this Lions team that was a bum. It wasn't a Lions team that wasn't good. It was a Lions team that was always great. Even in their own losses, they were great. They just didn't get that hump in the NFC Championship game, which I thought they should have won. But obviously, they were such a young team, first time being there, other than like Jared Goff. It obviously cost them, but I'm going to take Seattle. Seattle's going to win 31-24.
All right, Nick?
I'm going to go with Detroit. The Seahawks have looked impressive. Geno's played like that's another story where we talk about like situation mattering so much.
He's playing like a guy that knows that his job might be on the line.
Right. Well, I mean, like he is, the famous interview where like he was saying like
He'll be all right back.
I didn't write back. Like it's taken a long time for his career to develop, but he's stayed patient. He stayed true to himself, and now he's I think he's at least a top 15 quarterback. And the way he's playing this year, I think he's playing like a top 10 quarterback. It's kind of weird to say that Geno Smith is good, but yes, he is good. And I just think though that they haven't really faced a true test yet. You played the Skylar Thompson-led Dolphins, the Patriots. It's tough. I think the Lions are a lot better than what they've shown so far. I think they're going to out-physical the Seahawks a little bit, and especially that they're at home, I think on prime time, their season's going to kind of turn around. I got the Lions.
Justin?
Give me the Seahawk Tuas. Yeah, I know that's an old joke. I don't care. I'm not loving the Lions right now. I guess I'm loving the Seahawks a little more. Honestly, this game bores me a little bit. This game might be my bedtime story. But yeah, give me the Seahawks.
I'm gonna take Detroit. I picked them to come out of the NFC. They haven't, completely locked in yet. Jared Goff hasn't looked phenomenal to this point, but that's a really good team. They're a better football team on paper than the Seahawks. Seattle has looked very good thus far. Geno Smith's played well. Don't think they're gonna have Kenneth Walker in this game, though. They've been able to do fine without him. But give me the Lions. I know they did lose one of the defensive backs, Derek Barnes, for the year, but I think they have enough depth this year to where they'll be able to overcome the injuries in the secondary, which they weren't able to do the last couple of years. So I see the Lions squeak by in a close game. All right, that's all we have for you today. Thank you, Ashton. Thank you, Nick. Thank you so much, Justin, who absolutely just was on fire back there, doing 19 different things and doing them absolutely perfect. Thank you to everyone in the chat for making this very interactive and a lot of fun. We will definitely do this again sooner rather than later. Bird versus cat was the last poll. Justin's polls were absolute cinema, like the Martin Scorsese meme. And Justin made a meme of that of himself as well. So I just thought you all should know that. This was a lot of fun. We will definitely be doing this more often as the show continues on. So look for these live streams. Hopefully weekly, at least bi-weekly for sure. Hopefully even more than that. But until next time, so long. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.